Hi, I'm Tom Migot from Tom Migot Photography. It's been ages since I last talked to you. I think it's almost 2 months. It was just in October before my trip to North America when I went to do the canyons, like the Grand Canyon here. And then when I came back, the whole month of November just flew by, ran out of time really, no time at all to produce anything on YouTube. But I did release a video though. It was a video that I recorded here in my studio in September with the amazing, very inspiring landscape photographer Joe Cornish. And so because I always wanted to translate this video into French and publish it as well on YouTube on my French channel, I took me quite some time until November to get around to dubbing the whole thing and publishing it. So that was released about 2-3 weeks ago now. And the reason I'm talking about this is because at the end of this, the last section of this video, Joe did a critique of the work that you sent over. And I actually cheated, as Joe put it, because I sneaked 2 of my own photographs in the pool to be reviewed. Of course, I didn't tell Joe those were mine and I only told him afterwards. And at the back of this video, people have been asking me several questions and most of them were in the same topic. And as I was starting to answer some of them, I just thought to myself, well, maybe it deserves more than a 2-line answer and I should probably do a video and open the dialogue with you all. So those questions were about how I would have felt if Joe had given a negative critique of my photographs, especially the one of the castle, which appears right now here, because that was one that I captured in front of the camera, in front of you guys, and I walked you through the whole development process. And so that's what I'm going to try to answer now. And to be totally transparent with you, I've actually given a lot of thoughts over the past couple of weeks, and I ended up writing a rather long article on my blog, and this video comes with it. And so if you actually watching this video from my blog, well, the article is underneath. I really invite you to read it. If you only discover me through YouTube, then well, carry on watching, but I invite you as well to check the article, because I think it might actually end up being more with more detail. So in order to answer this question, how I would have felt if the critic was or were negative towards the 2 photographs that I shown to Joe and to you guys, I think I would do it in three steps, 3 questions. And the first one is, what is photography or art in general to me? And I do believe, and I'm really passionate about it. I truly believe that art in general, and therefore photography, is a means to communicate. It's our mean for us human beings to express ourselves. Some are eloquent, some will be painting, some will draw, some will sing, some will dance. I'm not good at any of those, and photography has been my calling. That's where I'm true to myself, and it enables me to communicate and share my emotions and make connection with the others. And the proof is, for the last 3 years, I've been talking to you thanks to photography. So that leads us to another question, which is, do I care about what people think of my work and therefore of me? And I think that is really the key question. So if we establish that art, and therefore photography, is a means to communicate, I think that we're bound to, as artists, seek attention. You know, we want the audience to listen to us, and I think it would be pretty ridiculous and meaningless to talk to somebody who doesn't want to listen to you. You know, try that and you'll see, if the person just carries on walking and you end up just yourself and the reflection in a mirror, or just you end up talking to the wall, it doesn't lead you anywhere. Maybe to crazy land, but that would be it. And that would be too much effort, too much energy being wasted. So you have to be conscious of your audience. You have to be concerned with what your audience, how your audience perceives you. Otherwise, I don't think it would work. That doesn't mean that you're not true to yourself, though. But I think human being is conscious of his own mortality and has always been obsessed by two primary existential questions. The first one is, if tomorrow I'm gone, will anybody miss me? Will my absence be noticed? The second question would be, what trace, what mark will I leave on history, on my community, on people around me, in the world? And I think art has always been a means to cheat death in a way. Art is almost a proof of existence, I believe. And Andy Warhol talked about everybody seeking 15 minutes of fame. And I think that's exactly it. It's not necessarily fame as celebrity, movie stars and TV wannabes like the Kardashians. I think it's much broader than that. It's to anyone. It's no matter how big the community you evolve within, it's all of us. And we want to be recognized, because if we are recognized, then we are. And this Descartes, the philosopher, said, well, I think, therefore I am. But I do believe that it's more, I am because you see me, because you hear me, because you touch me. And the way you do that is through my work. So do I care about what people think of me, of my work? I must admit I do very much. But then how much does that awareness, that concern for my audience influences my creation, my message? And I've been given quite some thoughts around it, and I think that it does influence me from the very moment I want to capture something. I'm in front of a scene, whether it's a grey landscape or in front of someone with character or just a key moment in life that I want to capture. I don't want to capture it to imprison it and just keep it for myself. No, there wouldn't be much point. It's more about capturing it because I want to share it. I want to share it with somebody. I want that person to see what I've seen, because if that person sees what I've seen, what I've felt, therefore I am. Therefore I've been here. He's a proof of that. That photograph is a proof of me being there at that moment. And so it's from the moment I grab the camera, it's from the moment I will choose my exposure settings, my lens, to make sure that the moment I frame the picture, because the framing of the picture, I do it consciously. I'm conscious of my audience. I want to make sure that it makes sense for my audience. I want to lead my audience to a specific place in the photograph. I want the message to be obvious to them. I don't want them to be lost in the photograph. So those are all the things that will influence my making. But the fact that I see what's in front of me, the fact that I want to do it, the way I do it, the way I will apply myself while being influenced, but the way I apply myself to this makes it my own, makes it my vision, my message. So then, do all opinions matter? And I could even say matter equally. Thankfully not. However, it can still hurt. It's pretty obvious that the people that surrounds us, the people we're close to, and the people we respect, will be the one that the opinion matter the most for us. It's obvious. However, we live in a world that is smaller and smaller and smaller. thanks to internet in part. And so, even if you publish something and somebody is going to see that what you publish, you don't know that person, you will never cross paths with that person in real life, but that person might be miles away from you physically, but then it's just sitting behind a computer watching your work and just going to post a comment. And if that comment doesn't align with your own perception of your creation, it will affect you. It may hurt you. And interestingly, on the Tom Migot Photography Club, which is my community on Google+, no later than this week, we had one member who posted a photograph he took in the street. And he posted a photograph and he asked the community to tell him whether the photograph worked, whether there was a message there. And one of the members admitted not understanding the photograph, and he tried to explain why the whole rhetoric, the whole narrative of that particular photograph didn't work for him. The reaction of the artist who took that photograph was full of emotion. He felt clearly misunderstood and subsequently hurt. So I jumped in and I tried to give some clarity, unbiased clarity, but I'm not sure, to be honest, that my input was well received either. And I think that is a good opportunity to talk about an intrinsic rule of publishing that is well known, but too often forgotten, which is, I do believe that art gallery, art forum, whether it's real physical galleries or whether it's on the web, all these places where you can publish your work. I don't think it was ever meant for artists to publish everything that is being produced. I see those places like the street in front of my house. Do I actually go down the street and cry my lungs out every thought that comes to my mind? Absolutely not. That would be mental, right? There's too many thoughts, too many crazy things that would not make any sense if I was just sharing it with the whole world. And I think people and artists in general have to have a filtering process, filtering your audience, filtering the work you produce and the one you want to showcase. That is critical. And as a parenthesis, one thing that I always say to my students is, if you have 10 photographs, make sure you don't publish more than a handful, because it's better to leave your audience hanging and intrigued than leaving your audience with boredom. But that's just on a way. So all that for saying that, once it's posted, once it's out there, it's out of your control. And you have to be ready to receive whatever comes to you. And that's why, coming back to how conscious you need to be about your audience, about the people who's going to view your work, you have to be. Otherwise, you are going to suffer. And I know every day on social media and art contests and so on, opinions are shared and hearts are broken and dreams are shattered, and I think we need to be aware of that. So, in conclusion, how would I have felt if Joe had given me a negative comment, a negative critique for my photographs? While I have met Joe only twice, his body of work has inspired me for many years now. So of course his opinion matters a great deal to me. So it would have undeniably hurt me one way or another. But did I take much risk in submitting my work before his eyes? Not really. You see, I did not pick those photographs randomly. First off, I chose them from my already published work. Then I picked the one that I thought would resonate with Joe's view of photography. And so yes, I was a little bit anxious, I was curious, and it's always it's almost seeking somehow the approval of your peer, especially from someone who's got so much experience and someone who produced work that you so inspired by and amazed by. And you know, will years ever change that from me? I don't think so. You know, if I'm totally being honest here, as far as I'm concerned, I've got way too many holes created by my own self-consciousness. And yes, from time to time, I do check in with my witness for my own proof of existence. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I look forward to reading what you could say. What is your thoughts on the impact of others on your own work? Do you believe like me that it is a communication and therefore the audience matter tremendously in the work you produce? Or do you believe that no, you are an artist and you really, you give the finger to the world and the world will be receptive to your creation or not, and at the end of the day you don't care? Is that your view or not? Tell me in a comment. I look forward to reading all those. And until then, this is Tom Migot saying, if you like it, well, capture it.